Jerry's unique pressing technique. Jerry isn't just any regular presser. His press is more technical than most people's top roll. A typical press involves giving up wrist flexion entirely, with zero hand control or containment. However, Jerry's technique is different. He incorporates pronation and containment into his press. Notice how he was able to bend back John's wrist while using a flop. Jerry's pronation is remarkable because it's unsupported, unlike most. Cup and rise usually act as a base for pronation, amplifying the output force on the opponent's hand. Without this base, pure pronation requires enormous ulnar joint strength, almost like performing a pronation lift with a kickback. His initial move is a pressing hook. As his wrist almost always gets cracked, he ends up engaging his shoulder to a line behind his arm. His fingertips are very strong, which allows him to contain his opponent's overpronated hand with his fingers. Just as cup is the base for pronation, the shoulder is the base for pressing. However, due to his unique elbow joint strength, his elbow acts as an alternative base, enabling him to avoid positioning entirely behind his arm, particularly in defensive stances. His elbow strength stems from his side pressure training, practiced from unconventional positions. The basis of Jerry's strategy. Jerry's style entirely depends on his opponent pulling like a fool or his opponent having a weaker inside game. The attitude of each puller toward their match also offers insight into the dynamics. Jerry avoided this matchup in mid-2023, while Levan openly challenged him. Such reactions could indicate the favorite in this showdown. If Levan can't find a way to solve the Jerry problem or overpower him outright, Jerry might have a real shot. Jerry often sustains a few losses before adjusting, but Levan's strength makes the usual analysis of Jerry's wall performances irrelevant. However, it's exciting to see Jerry get his chance. He's earned it. Previous challenges and injuries. Jerry sustained a chest injury before facing Georgie, which hampered his training. Remarkably, he still emerged victorious, though in a somewhat messy match. The injury wasn't a chest issue, it was a labrum tear, resulting from benching 545 pounds for 4 reps while already fatigued from previous practice sessions. Fortunately, he's fully recovered, as demonstrated in his match against Cadorette. People often underestimate the impact of intensive training on performance compared to merely rehabbing, which may soon become evident this December. Additionally, his performance against Erms might have been impacted by pneumonia and the stress of traveling halfway across the world. Much of the criticism Jerry received then stemmed from Levan's fans, who simply echoed Levan's unfavorable views. Levan's forearm advantage. Levan's forearm length could affect his ability to execute the dad move on Jerry without giving him a favorable angle to apply his power, resulting in a more horizontal stance. A short forearmed competitor could use the dad move more efficiently than Levan, whose forearm is relatively long, even longer than Gennadi's. This was apparent in the match against Cadorette. Moreover, Jerry has specifically trained to counter the dad move, expecting that both Alex and Levan would attempt it. Attempting to beat Levan with a top roll currently seems impossible and would likely resemble his bout against Vitaly in the top 8. Erms managed to block Jerry's wrist movement by leveraging the contact point on Jerry's wrist, preventing him from accessing his flop press position, which rendered Jerry vulnerable.
Everything dragged.
Strengths and limitations of Jerry and Levan. Jerry's strength lies in facing one-dimensional top rollers who lack arm strength and overly rely on hand control, which doesn't describe Levan. Levan possesses considerable side pressure, which makes him a formidable opponent for Jerry. While Levan may consider pressing as his third option if top roll and hook prove ineffective, Michael has mentioned that the position Levan used to press Levan required only about half the force needed to commit fully to a flop with shoulder engagement. This raises doubts about Levan's press strength from the outset. Jerry likely has a slight speed advantage, though he's often jet-lagged when competing overseas. Paul Italia observed Jerry passing out in the hotel lobby from severe jet lag, worsened by the long flights. If this match takes place in the US, he should perform with the same speed he displayed against Cadorette. Levan's hook a mystery and Jerry's speed advantage. Levan has never initiated a hook in competition, and when Cadorette forced a hook, it resulted in a lengthy struggle. As a result, there's little information on Levan's actual hook strength. Jerry's style gives him a natural edge over Levan. However, Levan remains the favorite on paper due to his dominance in recent years, though he's only faced top rollers recently. He is yet to be tested by an elite inside puller. Jerry's forearms are about 3 cm shorter than Levan's, which could make it easier for him to get underneath Levan, especially since Levan's size limits how tightly he can adjust to compensate. Jerry's speed and current training may give him an edge, as he has intensified his training well before this match. After his match with Michael for the Wall Championship, Jerry focused on endurance training, but following his bout with Erms, he shifted to training for speed, power, and back pressure, aiming to secure a strong position regardless of his starting speed. New training and home advantage for Jerry. Recently, Jerry has been training more efficiently, especially with the addition of diagonal pressure backside and pronated back pressure. He began this specific regimen to counter larger, faster opponents, starting with Cadorette. Since this is new to him, he's making rapid progress. This match also marks Levan's first time competing after a significant flight, a challenge Jerry regularly faces. Jerry has also adapted his training specifically to counter Levan's low grip and side sweep tactics, dedicating much of his routine to exploiting this if Levan tries it. Due to his unique proportions, Levan may struggle with low-gripping Jerry as he won't be able to tighten his stance enough to feel comfortable or strong. Additional factors favoring Jerry. For the first time, Jerry has taken time off from work to dedicate himself fully to a match, which may open up options he couldn't explore before due to frequent fluctuations in conditioning. He also has assistance in running gear correctly, which he previously managed poorly. This match represents the first time Jerry is going all in, allowing him to attempt new strategies and training varieties previously unexplored. Advantages and limitations for Levan. Levan's overall strength and diverse arsenal of viable moves make him formidable. His hook might be powerful enough to go fully inside against Jerry, maximizing his chances. His side pressure is also substantial, reducing the likelihood of Jerry injuring his pec, as he did with Cadorette and even with Tzvetkov, who came in underconditioned. Nevertheless, Levan's forearm length could be a disadvantage, as Jerry's shorter forearm allows him to get underneath more easily. Levan's tendency to overpronate, observed during the Erms match, may also be a liability. Despite his technical superiority, Levan struggled to prevent overpronation. Additionally, his sheer size may limit his positioning options against Jerry's press, as his width restricts his options compared to smaller opponents. In essence, Jerry's press works most effectively against larger opponents with longer arms, marking a unique challenge for Levan if strength is not the only factor in this match.